So far, the hog is still upright.
There goes Davis. Oh my God! Davis is going running all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game.
Hello and welcome to this episode of War Eagle Weekly. How we doing, Josh?
Doing pretty good. Let's talk some football.
Yes, sir. Specifically, let's talk about Auburn versus Arkansas football. Hey, man, Arkansas is looking a lot better than what a lot of people were thinking they were going to this year. Bobby Petrino's got them headed in the right direction offensively.
Yeah, I mean, they're scoring 46 points a game. It's tilted by their 70-point victory against Arkansas Pine Bluff, but still, they're getting points on the board. But they look a little suspect in certain areas. So does Auburn, though.
Yeah, they look a little sus, but offensively, I mean, again, Bobby Petrino's doing his thing. We made fun of him in the Arkansas preview that we did at the beginning of the season. Referenced his motorcycle crash, not only in this episode already twice, but several times in that preview. Can't laugh about that enough. But I mean, that Taylon Green from Boise State transferred to Arkansas has looked like the real deal. I mean, he looks like an SEC quarterback. Looks like he can play in the SEC. Haven't started SEC play yet, so it's still yet to see. But I'm saying he looks good. He looks good up to this point.
I don't know if I would say good. I would say a little below average. I mean, he's below 50% completion percentage on the season, I believe, and finished well below 50% against UAB, which they only beat by 10 points at home. Threw 0 touchdowns against UAB, and had 1 interception. But that run game is freaking dangerous. They averaged 7 yards a carry last week against UAB. Granted, it is UAB, but they also averaged 4.9 yards a rush against Oklahoma State in their overtime loss in Oklahoma. So, I mean,
should have had that one.
Yeah, they definitely should have. They looked like really good in the first half and then literally collapsed in the second half. And, I mean, I'm hoping Auburn can keep the momentum from their win against New Mexico into this week. God knows we friggin' need it to give this team a confidence boost before we play Oklahoma, which, by the way, we have a 5-star visitor for the Oklahoma game on a third official visit on the season in Deuce Night. So, I mean, we got to be able to have some momentum going into Oklahoma, and I'm hoping Arkansas provides us with that momentum, and I still expect them to.
Yeah. You know, it's one of those things where, first off, Arkansas, their game against Oklahoma State, I don't think Oklahoma State is the 14th best team in the country. I really don't.
No.
But they have one of the best running backs in the country. And Arkansas, I don't know if Oklahoma State lost the view on what they are, but they didn't run the ball really well. So I don't know if that's Arkansas or if that was Oklahoma State's issue. Because Ollie Gordon only had 49 yards in that Arkansas game. And so that's a little worrisome. Hopefully it was more of an Oklahoma State issue than an Arkansas, thing as far as defending the run, and that their run defense is that good, because Auburn's run offense hasn't been great and it's only shown one time so far this year that they can run the ball effectively, and that was against a terrible New Mexico team that has given up tons of rush yards this year. So it's a catch-22. I don't know. It's going to be one of those things, man. But you gotta commend Arkansas. Everybody has gone from, hey, that's a lock, that's a win, to being worried about this team, and that's all you can ask for if you're Arkansas, is putting some respect back in the name of Arkansas. And who would have thought that it was Bobby Petrino?
Is there any respect on the Arkansas name since Darren McFadden?
Well, they've been an SEC team. They're constantly playing SEC opponents.
You're retarded.
Here we are as Auburn fans making fun of Arkansas, and we really haven't
Never
done
gets
much
old.
better in the last 5 years. Let's be honest. I
Who
mean,
gives a crap?
it's
It's fun to rag on Arkansas.
oh, it is, man, it is,
They should have been
and
relegated at least 8 times in the past 10 years.
yeah, because we wouldn't have been.
No,
Oh
we wouldn't have.
man,
Maybe in
yeah.
2012, but that was
Oh
12
no,
years
we
ago.
definitely would have. Yeah. So do you think that we're going to be able to continue our passing offense? Is it going to continue to get better now under Hank Brown, even against Arkansas, even against SEC play?
Well, I'm really hoping it does. We have the pieces for it to be on the up and up, but
Mm-hmm.
if Cam Coleman is out again for the second straight
Yeah.
week, I would expect maybe a little bit of struggle, but I don't suspect there's going to be a ton. We did lose Brandon Frazier in the New Mexico game. He broke his
Yeah.
foot in that game. So we are down
I didn't know about that.
for sure one player on the receiving end. But, I mean, if anything, our rushing off.
Josh, we're not getting what you're saying right now, but um, it sounded like you were leading into our rushing game having some success in this Arkansas game is what we're hoping for.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, our rushing game is going to give our offense a nice push. I mean, UAB got 119 yards on the ground against Arkansas, so I don't think
Yeah.
it was in Arkansas, showing against Oklahoma State. I think it was Oklahoma State problem, which is kind of shocking because, like you said, they have one of the best running backs in the entire country. But with our guys averaging no less than 4.9 yards a carry last week, and it finally finding an identity on the ground against New Mexico, I would say, if anything, our rushing offense is going to open up the passing game, which it should be like that regardless, especially with such a young squad on offense.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I mean, hopefully, here's the thing: is even teams. I mean, all kinds of teams lose their identity for a game or two, and I mean, we've seen it here at Auburn against the Cal. Against Cal, we should have ran the ball more, and we just didn't. We still thought that we were playing against Alabama and A&M, so we lost sight of letting Jarquez and Damari Alston and Jeremiah Cobb run the ball. So it can happen. And so I'm thinking that might have been what it was, and hopefully that's the case. And Auburn has some success against Arkansas running the ball. But I think what everyone is really mainly concerned about is defensively. First off, is Kayan Lee going to play? Hopefully he does. Hopefully they were just holding him out of the New Mexico game as a precaution.
Don't even know why he was dressed out for warm-ups. And then he didn't play. I can't find anything.
Somebody said
on
it
the
was
interwebs.
like half or something in Zach Blackerby's post game live video. Somebody had mentioned that it was a calf, and so but that really hasn't been confirmed. I mean, I'm sure we'll hear about it from Hugh Freeze later in the week, but. And we're recording this Monday morning, and so he may have already said something about it by the time this video releases. But Kayan Lee's not the only issue. We had defensive woes. We didn't play containment. We didn't cover receivers well.
We got to move away from the 3-3-5. We just have to.
Man, I don't know if that's the issue or if we're just. I don't know what it is. I don't know. The 3-3-5. I feel like it's a good formation in today's modern football, but
when you don't have the personnel to execute, then you can't run a 3-3-5. I mean, one guy that I feel like has shined so far in his starting role on the defense has been newcomer Dorian Mausi. He's been a lot better in coverage than I was expecting him to be. I figured he was more of a run stuffer than a pass coverage linebacker. So I feel like he's been a bit of a bright spot for the defense. Same with Kayan Lee. He's easily our best cover corner on the outside. I feel like they need to to force Keontae Scott back to the nickel. He needs to be forced back inside. Scouts want to see him play inside. We want to see him play inside, but a lot of good points have been brought up. Like, who's going to replace him on the outside? Because Antonio Kite has proven, he's been proven that he is not ready. He had some pretty good plays against New Mexico, good moments against Cal, all of it, but more often than not, he's getting beat. He's watching the receiver more than looking for the ball, and he's getting flagged for senseless passing interference calls. So I mean, there are a lot of question marks on the board. I'm hoping Charles Kelly and DJ Durkin can get together and figure this out moving forward. But I mean, this would be the game to figure some stuff out leading into Oklahoma.
Yeah. Now Dorian Maiusi has looked good in coverage, but I do feel like he's fallen short a couple times on tackling. I think that seems to be an issue. But another bright spot is Keldrick Falk. He has just been he is becoming the player that we thought he was going to be, and
he's getting double teamed like every play.
Yeah, and he was still running after Dampier, and probably I think he would have gotten a sack had Wooden actually kept containment on that one play
instead of running into him and cutting him off.
He had to push him out of the way. It was like, come on, man. I don't know, 25. I'm terrible with players' numbers, so whoever 25 is. 25. But there's a lot of bright spots and a lot of individual good players on this defense. I think it's just a matter of them getting used to playing together. I think that, we took for granted how long last year's defense had played together. Yes, we had some newcomers in Keontae Scott, and yes, we had some newcomers here and there, but that secondary, they had played together for so long, and they probably knew, this is what, Jalen likes to do. This is what, now I'm just blanking on players' names, but they kind of had a better chemistry than this group does. This group hasn't really played together. And so hopefully as the season goes on, they get better and better, and we can, shore up some things. But Arkansas is going to make us pay. I don't know if this is going to be a low-scoring game. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a 30-something to 30-something finish. I know in our preseason prediction, we both had Auburn winning. You had Auburn winning 37-17. I had Auburn winning 27-24. I don't know if either defense can keep the other's offense below 30 points, especially if we continue to see some improvement from Hank Brown in this offense. But I still feel like Auburn should be able to win this, Josh.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, I think the line right now is Auburn at a 5.5 point favorite, or 3.5 point favorite at home. I can't remember exactly, but I want to stay in the 30-point range in my win prediction, but I think it's going to be a little closer than Arkansas only scoring 17 points. But I agree with you. It's probably going to be more around 34, 36 to 28 to 31, something like that.
Yeah,
Auburn
it's going to be a higher scoring game for sure. All in all, it really should be a fun, exciting game, and one where hopefully Auburn pulls out the win. But hopefully both of us are very excited. I'm a little. I don't know if you can tell. I'm worried about this game. I'm concerned. I'm concerned about this game.
You were concerned about New Mexico too, though.
I was, but rightly so. I feel like that offensively they concerned me. So, and the same applies for Arkansas. So, but we shall see. We're going to have a great home game. It's going to be a great atmosphere nonetheless. And with all of this being said, War Eagle, Josh.
War Eagle, man.